Hi, Trapnest here. Welcome to my 28 Days Later music production course, where I will be teaching you everything you need to know to become a full-time music producer, from creating entire songs to developing your own brand and creating a business plan. During the last video, we wrapped up the production and the arrangement process, so we can move into the mixing. But before we move into the mixing, I would like to show you how to record vocals. Knowing how to record vocals, it's not essential for what we are doing right now, that is just learning how to create instrumentals. But if you're planning to work with other people or even want to create music for yourself, most likely you will need to know how to record vocals. If you're new to these videos, please make sure to check out the other videos in this course, just so we can be in the same page. Follow me on Instagram and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content like this. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna need is the equipment. Obviously, I already did a whole video on that, so if you don't have your equipment yet, please check that video and let's move into how to actually set up everything. Okay, so here we have an audio interface. The way I have set it up is on my two outputs I'm using for sending audio from my computer to my speakers. And the inputs are the ones that we're gonna use for the microphones. The way this is connected, we have track 1 and track 2. This is a 2-track audio interface. On track 1, I have the microphone that I'm currently using. Here I have my volume levels. On track 2, I have connected my microphone I use to record my clients. That one right there. We have the phantom power. Okay, so here is my setup. The first thing is obviously the microphone. This is the Rode NT1. Really good microphone, especially considering it's in the range of $250 to $300. But if you are just starting, I would recommend you spending just on the 80-20-20 that I recommended in my other video. I haven't personally used that one, but during my research, pretty much everyone was recommending that one. As you can see, this cable is going to the audio interface. And the next thing will be, I have two pop filters. So what the pop filter does is that whenever you pronounce a plosive, like P, it will reduce the impact of the plosives in your voice. So the reason why I bought the second pop filter, it will be, well, having a second pop filter does help with the plosives, but the main reason is to set up the distance. Most new artists always make the mistake of getting way too close to the microphone. They will record something like this. When you get too close to the microphone, any head movement, like when you are singing, you get into the song and you are gonna move around. Like, let me show you actually with the example here. So this is a microphone really close, and if I move my head like this, you can probably hear that the volume level changes quite drastically. Of course, I'm just exaggerating the movement. Now listen how it sounds when I put some distance. It sounds much better, right? Sounds lower, but sounds much cleaner. And also, if I move my head like this, then there's not that big of an impact. As a general rule of thumb, try to have like a foot of distance between your microphone and where the artist is gonna be. So yeah, pretty much I'm using the second pop filter just to mark that distance. I want the artist's mouth to be here instead of being there. The next thing is my windshield. Now, I use this as a sort of replacement for a vocal booth. If you are in a place where you have a lot of echo in the voice, like for example, when you are in an empty room, you can hear a lot of echo, right? We want to avoid that kind of effect in the voice, but If you don't want to get something like this, maybe you can record inside a closet. It's not ideal, and if you don't have a laptop, you're not gonna be able to do it, but it's an option. The last thing will be the stand. I bought this stand because the windshield is quite heavy, so the stand is a little expensive. Like windshield and stand cost me like $60, something like that. I'm gonna leave the links for all the products I'm talking about in the description. But if you are not gonna use a windshield, then probably like a $15 to $20 stand is more than enough. The last thing that you're gonna need is your headphones, obviously, so you can listen to the music. You don't want to be listening the music through the speakers while you record, because that's gonna be recorded as well. The final step is gonna be just the setup inside your DAW. Let's go to preferences and make sure to select your audio interface on the audio output and the audio input. Now, a really common issue when you're recording is to have some delay in your voice, meaning that whatever you hear in your headphones, it's not gonna be what is being recorded. Like you might hear that your recording is fine in the headphones, but when you play it back, it's maybe out of beat with the instrument. That happens when you increase the buffer size too much. The biggest the buffer size, the more delay you're gonna have. But if you select a lower buffer size, then you might have problems with your sound, like pops and some strange noises. What I would recommend you doing is just go ahead and try the lowest buffer size. If you have no issues with the sound, then perfect. But if you do, then just move to the next one and then to the next one until you don't have those issues anymore. And the last thing we are gonna do is just arm our track, arm this one here, and now you see that I'm receiving some signal in my track. The reason why this shows off in gray is because my monitor is off. The monitor is gonna be what you're gonna hear on your headphones. So if I turn this to auto, then it's gonna come through the speakers as well, or to whatever you are using to listen to the sound. I turn it off because it's creating some echo in my speakers. The next step will be to set up our volume. What I usually like to do is do a test run with my artists before we start recording and see how loud they go. You can check out how loud the source is here. This is like the meter for the sound. And what I try to do is just that the loudest part, I try them to be peaking by around -12 dB. So for example, if I wanted to change my volume here and raise my voice, then I want to increase the volume in my audio interface until I see how it sounds here. You see, now it's peaking close to 0 dB, so that's a little too much. Let's go and reduce a little bit now, and now it's starting to peak close to 12 dB, and now it's good. Now I'm gonna go back to my normal voice, and now you see that it's not even close to -12 dB, but that's okay. Once you record, you can always enhance the volume of your recordings. If anything, it's preferable to have a kind of low level, so there's more room for enhancing with, like, I don't know, compression or distortion, whatever you want to use. Just make sure that it's not too low either, because for example, if I have something like this, and once you have set up your levels, then you are pretty much good to go. The only thing that you're gonna do is just press the record button, same thing that we were doing with the melodies. Just gonna talk for a bit just to have a nice clip here. That should be enough. Let's stop this. And now I'm gonna open the clip, and you see these waveforms are the sound. Just try to avoid having your vocals like looking like this. If your waveforms look like this, it's because your vocals are recorded way too loud. Okay, so that will be all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram for more content like this, and I will see you in the next one.